Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Kaylee, and I'm here today to share with you some of my favorite stretches to do right before I jump rope. Now, we all know that it's important to warm up and get your body ready to jump, but sometimes we don't know exactly what to do. Well, these stretches are gonna help you not only feel great, but also prevent injury, okay? Now, one thing that I'll share with you before we get started is that all of these stretches are called dynamic stretches, all right? That means that we are moving the whole time. We're not sitting there and holding a stretch for 30 seconds at a time. We want to keep our bodies moving so that they can be ready to jump right after we finish our stretches. So let's get started. We're going to start with something that I like to call grass grabbers. So what you're going to do is put one foot out in front of the other, just like this, and then you're going to grab the grass or the ground. You're going to come down, scoop some of it up, and then go ahead and switch legs, all right? Notice I am keeping my leg that's stretching. I'm keeping that one straight. The other one can bend a little bit, and I'm also really trying to keep my back straight, okay? So I'm just gonna do this before I jump. I'll do that for about 30 seconds, but again, I'm moving and switching the entire time, okay? That one's gonna target your hamstrings. Next, we're gonna target our quads, okay? So these are called alternating quad stretches. We're gonna grab a foot, you've probably done this one before, and we're gonna pull it straight back behind us. We can use our other hand for balance, hold it for about a second, and then go ahead and switch. So we're still moving, we're still switching and stretching those quads right in front, okay? Now, a lot of people, if they're really flexible, they try to bring their foot out like this, out away from their body. That's not going to be very good for your knee, and it's not a good way to deepen the stretch. Better way to deepen the stretch is to actually push your foot away from you. So if I've got my hand right here on my forefoot, I'm just gonna push that foot away from my butt and still be pulling on it with my hand. That way I'm gonna deepen that stretch without damaging my knee, okay? So those were called alternating quad stretches. The next one, we're gonna move away from our legs and we're gonna start getting our shoulders limbered up, okay? So we're gonna do some forwards and backwards shoulder rotations or arm circles, whatever you wanna call these, okay? So one thing you can do, you can start big just like this if your shoulders are already pretty limber. Another thing that you can do, you can start small. So you can start with tiny circles out like this just to get those shoulder muscles activated. And then you can progressively get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Until you're making these really full arm swings, really getting all of those muscles around your shoulders, even your traps, all stretched out. If you choose that method, do the same thing when you go backwards. So start small, get bigger and bigger, and then we're going with these big backwards arm circles. Those feel so good to me. They're like my favorite. All right, next, actually I lied. I think this might be my favorite. I call this the greatest stretch. This one is really a total body stretch. It's gonna hit our hip flexors. It's gonna hit our booty. Super important for jumping, actually. A lot of people don't know that. And it's gonna involve a spinal twist. So we're really getting our total body here, okay? Here's how it works. We're gonna get into a lunge. So this is a really, really big lunge. My legs are spread as far apart as I really can, okay? Notice that my back leg is straight. I'm not letting it bend. And while it's straight, the goal is to come down to the middle of my front foot, the inside here, with my hands and really sink down into this stretch, okay? Notice, again, my back leg is still as straight as I can get it. That's so that I get a hip flexor stretch. Now here's where the fun part comes in. Remember, we're on the inside of this front foot. The goal, if you are flexible enough, is to come down and touch your inside elbow down to the floor. Hold that for a second, and then actually rotate toward that front foot right here. Notice I get that spinal stretch, okay? Once I'm able to do that, then I stand up and I switch legs. So now I do the same thing, reaching to the inside of that foot. Elbow comes down, again, if you're able, and if it does not hurt at all. And then I get that spinal twist. I look up towards my hand, come back to the middle, and then reset for the next side, okay? So we're gonna keep alternating just like that. Again, going through that about 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, but you're continuing to move and switch legs the whole time, okay? That was number 4. Next one, number 5, last of my favorite stretches here. This is a calf and Achilles stretch. This is arguably the most important thing to do before you start jumping, because jump rope puts so much stress on your calves and on your Achilles. We got to get these things ready. So here's how I like to do it. Get into a TP position, otherwise known as a really bad push-up form position. So booties up in the air just like this. We're making a TP with our bodies, almost like a downward dog. And then you're just gonna lift up one leg and tuck it behind the other ankle, okay? Now my leg is straight, and I'm really working to push my heel down towards the floor. This is gonna stretch my calf, okay? And then if I wanna get more of my soleus and my Achilles, all I really need to do is bend that leg, and I'm going to keep actively pushing my heel down towards the floor, okay? It's gonna be harder. The heel is gonna come up a little bit probably, but just really, really try to push it down. Then I'm gonna switch legs, do the same thing. So straight leg first, really actively pushing down. After just a couple seconds, I'm gonna bend that knee and get my Achilles, all right? Now, here's where the active part of that stretch comes in. I showed it to you in a hold, right, just so you could get all the components, but here's how you make it active and stay moving. You can do what's called pedaling your feet. So you're in that same position, you can start with the straight leg version, and instead of actually tucking, you can really just alternatingly bend each knee like this, and then whatever leg is straight, you're pressing it towards the floor. To get your Achilles, do the same thing, but now both legs are straight and you're just shifting your weight, right? Back and forth, really getting that Achilles and that soleus to loosen up, okay? So those are my 5 favorite stretches to do right before I jump rope. They really get me ready. I feel ready like right now. I want to go jump rope now. And I hope that they work for you just as well as they do for me. As always, please look below. We have tons of great products, ropes, mats, linked in the comments. And of course, please subscribe and come hang out with us for our next video. See you later.